The Hunt. It was just another ordinary day for Nick Jones. Every morning he would wake up at 6 o'clock and go for a run around the city of Melbourne. He would also go the same way, and halfway through the walk, order the same coffee from the same cafe. Things were good for Nick. He had a wife and 2 kids and lived in a lovely house in St. Kilda. He owned and worked at the local Italian restaurant in the city. Little did John know his violent past would soon come back and bite him. He had been in the army, part of the ASF, Australian Special Forces, which was a team of specially trained men with many years of experience in a variety of different fields. Some of the fields they specialized in were bomb defusing, building grades, and gun combat, just to name a few. But Nick was on his routine run, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a parked car on the side of the road exploded. Just as he ran past, he was thrown into the nearby newspaper stand. He got up and was in total shock. He had no idea what had just happened. Nearby pedestrians ran to his aid. He asked if he was okay. He simply replied, "I'm fine." He was. He was used to that kind of stuff. But what he couldn't work out was why a car had exploded in the city of Melbourne at 6:30 in the morning. He walked over to what was left of the car. He looked for anything that stood out, anything that would show whether it was intentional or accidental. And he had a bad idea that it was intentional. There was only the main body of the car left, so he looked under it for anything suspicious. He found 2 cylinders directly under where the gas tank would be. Suddenly, the police came swarming to the crime scene. He quickly grabbed the 2 cylinders and carefully placed them under a bin nearby. He was confronted by 2 police officers. "Are you the one who was injured because of the explosion?" "Yes, actually." "Doesn't the blood give it away?" "Being a smart ass isn't going to speed this up anyway. Would you mind coming with us back to the station? We have some questions to ask you." "Well, I do have a business to run." "It will only take half an hour, sir." "It's Nick, and, well, if I must." "You must." They drove him to the nearby police station and lead him into the interrogation room. Nick's first remark was, "Am I being charged with murder?" The police officer simply said, "Of course not. So why am I in here?" "Because all of the other, more friendlier rooms are unavailable." "Oh, so the real criminals get the nice rooms and the innocent victims get stuck in here?" "No, sir. That's not at all how it works." "Oh, really?" "Yes, sir. Stop calling me sir. I have a name." "Okay, Nick, we have some questions to ask. Simply reply with yes or no, unless requested for a different response." "Fine by me." After an hour for questions, Nick was finally released. He got the first taxi he saw and drove straight back to the crime scene. As soon as he got there, he ran to the bin he had placed the two cylinders in. Thank God, they're still here. He took them and went straight home. He had a long night ahead of him. When home, he went straight to his basement, which is where he had all of his old work stuff, such as old files and papers, the occasional service medal. When he finally began to work on the cylinders, he noticed something. There was something engraved on them. He grabbed a magnifying glass to take a closer look. Next time, you'd eye had been engraved on what nearly killed him. He instantly dropped the magnifying glass. It dropped and smashed on the ground. His wife had heard and ran in asking what had happened. He lied to her. He told her the cylinders were from the oven at the restaurant and that he would clean up the glass. He had convinced her to back upstairs. He knew instantly who had planted the bomb under the car, and most importantly, who was out to kill him. The next day was different to every other day. He did not go for his routine run. He did not get his usual coffee from the same cafe. He was now going to attempt to find the man who had tried to kill him, hopefully before the man found him. Luckily for Nick, he knew exactly where to look. He knew the exact house he lived in. It didn't take long for Nick to get to the house. It was a large mansion in suburban Melbourne. It had a large wall surrounding the house with security cameras in every room. He soon realized that he wouldn't just be able to jump over the wall to gain access. Nick went home all frustrated to find a broken window. Someone had thrown a brick through the window. Luckily, his wife and kids were out for the day. On the brick was a note. The note said, "Don't come looking for me, as I will have already found you." This upset Nick so much he did not sleep that night. He stayed up all night thinking of a way to get inside that house. The next day, he drove to the house wearing a chef's outfit from his restaurant with a big pizza. He simply waltzed through the front gate and knocked on the door. The guard answered the door and asked, "Yes, hi, I'm here to deliver the pizza you ordered." "No one here ordered a pizza." "Oh, you are sure?" Yes, I am." "Oh, okay, well, sorry to waste your time." As Nick turned and walked away, just before the guard closed the door, he turned, pushed the door into him, then grabbed him and head butted him. The guard fell to the ground. He was knocked out. This gave Nick access to the house. He looked in every single room for everything that could link the owner of the house to the attempts to kill him. Luckily, no one else was in the house at the time. He eventually found a room that was locked. He assumed there would be something worth hiding inside. As soon as he got in, he straightaway saw bomb-making materials. He took one step and tripped on while running along the floor, which triggered an explosion that destroyed all the contents of the room. Since how it did not kill him, he turned around to walk out of the room. And carved into the door was, "Like you." That one was close. The message was right. This time, it was too close. Nick got out of the house straight away. As he hopped back into his car, he noticed a piece of paper on his front wind screen. He jumped out of the car and grabbed the note. On the note was written, "Hello, Nick. I know you know who this is. I also know that you know why I am doing this. What you did to my father was unforgivable. You will pay the consequences. I have placed an arsenal in your trunk. I hope that is all you need." The hunt begins tomorrow at 12 in the afternoon. Go to 132 Svensson Street. Then, to go to the top floor, enter room 913. Sticky taped on the note was a hotel key card. Back in 92, Nick had raided a known terrorist hideout. The mission was to capture the leader unharmed. Unfortunately, he tried to escape. Nick had to take a shot. He did. It took a target down, as headshots do, but when he had taken a closer look, he saw he had not shot the target. He had killed an innocent electrician who happened to be working on the building they had raided at the time. The innocent electrician was father of Paul McManus. Paul was only young when Nick had killed his father. When Paul found out his father had been killed, he wrote to the American government, and astonishingly, the letter actually got to Nick. It had basically said that someday he would kill him for what he did to his father. Nick was well aware that he was not joking. Nick inspected his truck. There was a high-powered 50-cal sniper rifle with all the ammo needed. There were also a few smaller guns as well. Nick was smart and did not go to the room at 12. He went to the building across the road and surveyed the room. Unexpectedly, a man walked into the room. Nick was looking through the scope of the sniper Paul had given him. The man was not Paul. It was a man wearing a bulletproof vest, and it looked like he was searching for Nick. Suddenly, Nick heard a loud bang, and the window directly in front of him smashed. Someone from the roof of the hotel was shooting at him. He jumped out of the view of the window and the shooter. Nick needed to get out of the room. Except now the shooter from across the road was shooting at the room he was in. With a machine gun, he had to crawl through the room to get to the door. He eventually got to the door. He opened it and instantly got punched in the face. It was Paul. "A dream of mine. I think I'll just kill you now." Nick tried to tackle him to the ground, but was still in shock after the punch he received. All he could do was knock the gun out of his hand. That was all he needed. He then sprinted out of the room. He didn't get far before Paul had started shooting down the corridor. Nick eventually made it to the elevator and hit the G bottom. While in the elevator, he made a quick call. Paul had taken the stairs. Nick got there first. A few seconds later, Paul made it down to the ground floor. Nick had his gun aimed at Paul, and Paul was aiming right back at Nick. Suddenly, a squad of police charged through the lobby of the hotel and were all aiming directly at Paul. "It's the end of the road, Paul," said Nick. Paul grunted, dropping his gun, placed his hands on the back of his head, and got on his knees. 3 officers rushed to him and handcuffed him. As they escorted him to the police van, he looked directly at Nick and said, "Next time, you will not be this lucky."